Hello and thank you for tuning in to Watching Watches. I'm new to YouTube, so please subscribe and like my video. I'd really appreciate it. This video expands on a video I recently released which talks about the importance of ISO6425 water resistance rating, especially if you're a diver. Please check that video out too if you haven't done so already. I'll leave a link in the description. Today I'll be talking about every budget ISO certified diver that I could find on the market. I'll be focusing on the manufacturers, as Seiko and Citizen, for example, produce a variety, so I think it's better to make you aware of who makes these watches, and you can look into detail if you choose to. Now I'm going to start off with Helm Watches. They make 3 different watches that cost between $275 and $300 US. What I really like is that they do all their own ISO 6425 testing in-house. The owner, Matt, was kind enough to share some photos of how they do this testing. The watches have sapphire crystals with stainless steel bezels. And because of their ability to make very solid tool watches at under $300 US, they've developed a cult following on Facebook. They are, however, a little thick for my liking, although they do make a mid-size version at 40mm and only 47mm lug to lug. It's still over 15mm thick. I like to wear my divers to work, and I don't think these will fit under my cuff. It's also very heavy at close to 200 grams on the bracelet. Check them out on their website, there's plenty of great photos there, but do be aware that they're usually sold out. They make limited numbers in small batches, so you'll need to be lucky to pick one up. Apart from how chunky they are, they're one of the very few watches that I've only really heard great things about. Now on to the next 2 companies that I've actually grouped together, Seiko and Citizen, 2 of the big hitters of the watch world. They both produce large numbers of ISO 6425 certified divers. Generally with Seiko, it's the Prospects range, and Citizen has their Promaster range. Just be sure it says divers 200 meters on the dial and you're good to go. The main difference between these 2 companies is that Citizen focuses on their EcoDrive solar-powered range, and Seiko still produces more automatics, such as the NH35, which is found in almost every micro brand in existence. Some examples of the Citizen divers include the Aqualand 200 meters and the BJ7100 GMT. I own the NY0040 Citizen diver, which was worn by the Italian military in the early 2000s. Some examples of the Seikos include the Seiko SKX and the Seiko Tuna. Water resistance starts at 200 meters, and the prices for both these watches start at a very affordable, around about $150 US. The issue I have with both these companies is that many of their lower end divers still use mineral glass and aluminium bezels, something that almost all the other brands I'm discussing have moved away from to increase their durability and scratch resistance. Now we move on to the Marathon Watch Company, the first of the Swiss divers I'll be mentioning. They start at around $850 US and they're water resistant to 300 meters. A large number of their watches are produced for the military, and you can definitely see the tool-like design that they use. They make a 36, a 41, and a 46mm case sizes in their dive watch range. I have 6.7 inch wrists, and their watches are also very thick with long lugs, so I'd choose the 36mm. All these watches have radioactive tritium gas tubes, which means the hands and indices always glow, even after many hours in total darkness. They're also available with either quartz or Swiss automatic movements, and I've been considering buying one for some time. The next budget diver is made by a company called Certina, another Swiss brand that has been making watches since 1888. They're known for their high quality and long-lasting timepieces, while still keeping the cost at a reasonable level. On their website, they're around $900. However, they can be found for cheaper if you shop around. The DS Action Diver isn't small at 43mm, but it is only 13mm thick. The loom is Swiss Superluminova, and it actually has an 80-hour power reserve, the first watch I featured on this channel with such a long reserve for an automatic. This model was only released around 2 years ago, and I do think it's designed rather nicely. A less casual design, which would be suitable to wear in more formal situations. Now, not many people know that Casio actually make an ISO certified dive watch, and that is the G-Shock Frogman. Now, I used to own one of these, and they just feel like they're a step above your regular G-Shock that might cost you $100 or $200. The Frogman is part of their high-end range called the Master of G lineup, which they started making in 1993. It's originally developed for professional grade use by the Army and the Navy. They've recently incorporated a depth gauge and a compass into their watches, as well as a sapphire crystal, which isn't too common for Casios. They make them in a huge variety of colours, but most people prefer to dive with an automatic as their backup watch, as automatics don't rely on modern technology, so I'm not sure how many divers actually use a Frogman, but personally, I absolutely love G-Shocks, and you can pick up a used Frogman for around $300 US. I'll leave a link in the description to a short video of a Frogman water resistance test. Just for fun, at the end I'll throw in one more watch, the U200 made by Sinn. It's only 37mm in diameter, so I think it would fit small to mid-sized wrists nicely. Now this watch is close to $2,500 US, but it is rated to 2,000 meters water resistance. It's made out of submarine steel with very high corrosion resistance. It's over 10 times the magnetic resistance required by the standard, and the case is filled with argon gas. They even put in copper sulfate crystals inside the case to absorb any moisture that might get inside. Probably not necessary, but definitely some exciting innovation from this German manufacturer. Okay, so that concludes this review of budget ISO 6425 dive watches. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it, and have a great day.